First, what do you hear about Egypt?
What do I hear about Egypt? Well, I was fascinated with Egypt from the time I was very small because, of course, of the pyramids. I know that's a cliche, and you have many other things about Egypt that are maybe more important to you guys, but the pyramids are really amazing. And one of the first things I wanted to be in my life was an archaeologist, and so I wanted to find out what the pyramids were all about. You know, one of the problems with living in the United States is we don't get very good news about the rest of the world. So as I grew up, I was just sort of vaguely aware of sort of the types of what was going on in Egypt, say in the 1960s and 70s and 80s. And I still don't know as much as I would like to know about Egypt today, you know, modern Egypt. And I learned a great deal on my visit last fall, and I hope to continue learning more. And as I may have mentioned to you, since I came back, I discovered the movie, The Jacobian Building, and I thought it was an absolutely phenomenal movie, and it fit with sort of a lot of the impressions I had in visiting, both about the things that are wonderful about Egypt and the things that are troubled. I thought those were both in the movie. So, one of the things that really surprised me, this is one of the things I didn't know that I learned on my trip that really was amazing, was that St. George was in Egypt.
Yeah.
St. George, of course, I always thought of St. George as the patron saint of England, but I didn't realize that we went to the shrine in the old city of where St. George was, and that was really interesting.
Okay, what do you think about women there? If women have rights or what?
I think that women taking a larger role in public society is a very important thing. And I think that's one of the really difficult issues about what's happening now with the U.S., especially in Afghanistan, because I'm mostly totally opposed to the U.S. being involved militarily in Afghanistan. But then the only thing that sort of makes me doubt and makes me think, well, maybe it's not all bad, is what the Taliban, what gender relations were like under the Taliban. And I think women were in a terrible, terrible position. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see in Afghanistan, like every country in the world, where women, you know, can work outside the home and are not, you know,
can take positions.
Yeah, and take positions of leadership, absolutely, and have a very active, you know, women's cultural life that is contributing to the life of the country. So, and I think that is happening in Egypt. I think it could maybe happen more. I mean, you guys are the ones to really answer that question.
Okay, is there something in Egypt you wish to be here?
No, that I wish to be here. Oh my, that's a very good question. I think that Egyptian people, because you come from an old civilization, you're really rooted and connected to the past in ways that Americans really aren't. I think that Americans, you know, we think that a building 100 years old is old, you know, and I think that America has all this power, but I don't think we have a real clear sense of who we are or what our place is in the world sometimes. I think the American public are very easily manipulated. I think we have had political leaders who are evil, to be honest, you know. I really feel like this whole the whole Bush administration. And there are bad governments everywhere, and I know your Egyptian government, people have issues with it also, but our government is the one that started a war in Iraq based on lies. And I think the American public allowed themselves to be fooled by that. So I think maybe, and I think if we had a little bit more sense of history in this country, as I think you do in Egypt, that would be a really good thing. Also, I love Egyptian food. But don't ask me about any details because I don't remember the details. I just remember enjoying all of it. It was great. And I'm sure there are a lot of other things, but I'd have to think about them.
Okay, what is the thing that you want us to learn from American people?
Well, I would first say that what I want you to learn most isn't from American people. It's more specifically about what we're dealing with in the course. I want you to feel able and comfortable in using the different media, video, photography, writing. That's what I'm really hoping that you will leave with some skill and knowledge of. I think that America and American people at our best are generous and want to be helpful in the world, and the more of that we have everywhere, the better. I think America has certain legal traditions like the First Amendment that I do think would be a good thing everywhere. One of the things I was amazed to discover in Egypt is you can't take photographs of the police.
Oh yeah.
Because I tried to do it, and it was totally innocent. And they're like, "Come over here, what are you doing?" And they made me destroy the images. So I think having a country where you can take pictures of police is a good thing. I don't know how you create that in a society where it's not already tolerated and allowed. I mean, my theory was they were just sitting around and they didn't want anybody to have pictures of police just sitting there, I hope you enjoy, all the things you're doing. You're going to go to Annapolis tomorrow, so. And I know you enjoyed the aquarium and the museum. So.
Thank you, Dr. Rod.
Sure, you're welcome.